Hi, everyone. Good evening, all. Thank you all for joining us today to hear from our very own transfer students. My name is Sara Delgado. I am an outreach specialist here at Cal State East Bay. I'll be here to answer any general admission questions that you all may have later on. I Before we begin, I just wanted to remind you all about a admitted student event that we're having on Saturday, April 25th. This is a really great opportunity to be on campus, accept your offer of admission, meet other admitted students, talk to your major advisor, register for classes, and learn more about the campus. If you haven't RSVP'd for it, I will leave a link in the chat for you to RSVP. And then without further ado, I'll pass it over to Nancy, who will lead the panel today.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. As Sarah said, my name is Nancy Jimenez. I am the interim director for our Student Leadership and Involvement Center, and I'll be helping moderate tonight's session. The goal of today's session is also to give you an honest look at what it's like to transfer and any challenges you might face, and then get tips for success from those who have been in your exact shoes a short time ago. So with that, let's go ahead and let the panelists introduce themselves. Could you each please on the panel share your name, your major, and where you transferred from, and one fun fact?
Hi, y'all. My name is Elia Varela. I was a transfer student back in 2023 from Chabot Community College. Go Gladiators. Um, and I graduated last year with my bachelor's, but now I'm currently doing my master's in public administration at Cal State East Bay. Woo! One fun fact about me is I have 5 degrees, so I got 4 during community college. Yep, educated, yep. Yeah, so that's my fun fact.
Hi everyone, I guess I can go. My name is Casey Pangilinan. I am a senior, so I transferred here last spring. So I've been at East Bay for an entire academic year now. My major is English, but I also got my associate degrees in human development and English. Um, fun facts about me. Let's see. I think I'm a pretty fun individual. But the only thing that I can think of right now is that my favorite milk tea is boba milk tea or the banana milk teas from Teaspoon, but they took that out of the menu and those are really good. So if they ever bring it back, you guys should try some.
Hi everyone, my name's Emmeline Becerra. I transferred from Los Medanos College in spring 2024, and I'm currently finishing up my year this year, and I will be graduating with a bachelor's in communication. A fun fact about me, I am a station manager for a student-led broadcasting club, which I am also handling that at the moment. So, yay!
Thank you, Emmeline, Casey, and Elia. We'll go ahead and start with one question, and then if you all have questions, feel free to raise your hand or drop the question in our chat, and we'll take a chance, we'll answer those questions. We really want to encourage you, if you feel comfortable, to turn your cameras on. We'd love to be able to see you directly and talk with you. So to start with, we're going to ask the panel, what surprised you most about this school after you arrived?
I can go first. When I finished at Chabot Community College, it was like right after the pandemic. So it's kind of like, oh, okay, I'm relearning how to be more connected with my community. So like the first thing I did at Cal State East Bay was apply for PIA, which is like a program under our Student Equity and Success Center. It's basically they're there to help you out academically, um, and also with like holistic advising. So I would say the thing that surprised me was there's a lot of people on campus that really want to help you, and there's a lot of resources. So take advantage of that if you do want to become a pioneer, take advantage of the resources because we are here to help you out.
Yeah, sort of adding on to that, not only is there a lot of resources here for you on campus, there's also a lot of ways to get involved. I transferred in from both Ohlone College and Chabot College, and I was pretty active when I was at Ohlone College, as that was my predominant school. And coming into East Bay, I was kind of under the notion that there wasn't going to be a lot of student life. And as soon as I started finding those areas, and honestly, they're everywhere. If you just turn to the left or right, there's going to be an opportunity for you to get involved. There is a lot of student life here on campus. And honestly, as soon as you get integrated into one, usually what happens is you'll start to get involved in even more different organizations. So for example, for my first semester when I came here, I wasn't exactly involved in anything. And then I decided to run after my first semester to student government, which we call ASI here on Cal State East Bay. And then at the same time, I also had applied to become a student employee at SLIC, which is where I currently work now. And I got both of the offers at the same time. And then after that, I started becoming more involved in organizations. So, for example, I'm in PASA, I'm in a sorority now, which is pretty new to me. Um, Honor societies, there's really a lot of different things that you can dive into. And because of that, like my schedule is pretty busy. I meet new people every single day. So if you try to find that community, you will definitely find it.
Yeah, I'm also the same way. So I live kind of like it's not close by, but the commute is pretty awful in the morning. So when I saw that East Bay actually offered on-campus housing, I went ahead and I do that, and I'm currently in my dorm. I would say that on-campus housing, it's not for everyone. But the second, I moved in, I was greeted with a lot of kindness by the faculty here. And I also got to meet a lot of new people too, which then led me to seeking out some other opportunities on campus to kind of keep myself busy. The one thing that surprised me the most with making that decision is that I get to sleep more. I get to go to my classes on time. It's easy for me to get to work because I work on campus too. So definitely, if you choose to be a pioneer, really benefit everything that this school has to offer, especially resources like the student health services here, the gym that we have here, which by the way, it smells nicer in there than at Planet Fitness or 24-hour fitness. So I will say that.
Thank you all for sharing. I want to go ahead and see if anyone in the audience has any specific questions they'd like to ask our panelists. If you want to direct it to someone specific, you can do that.
My question is for you as far as the you mentioned something about PO. What is PO?
It's
What
actually
exactly? Can you elaborate more on it?
yes. So it's like PIAA. It's Pacific Islander Asian American. It's like
Uh-huh.
a student retention program. So yeah, they help you like with a lot of stuff. I had an amazing counselor. Because for me personally, I'm not really good with getting connected with my academic counselors. At
Right.
Chabot Community College, I'm not going to say y'all should do this. I pretty much like steered my own boat. I was like, I know how to read my degree works. I know how to
Oh
apply
no,
for
no, no, no.
classes. Yeah. So I was like, I was doing that all on my own and like at community college. But when I was like, ooh, I'm gonna be at a university. I cannot
Right.
be delusional. I cannot say I can do things on my own because it
No,
takes a
right.
village.
Oh yeah.
So the reason I joined that program is because I'm Tongan and I'm also
Oh, okay.
Latina, but it's like I wanted to tap into that side of myself because my
Hmm.
mom, she's not dead, she's deaf. So we have a communication barrier and I wanted to
Oh,
be
okay. Okay.
in that community. So I
Uh-huh.
got to like reach out to the like Asian American, Pacific Islander community, yada yada.
Oh,
But
okay.
yeah, we also have like a sister program. So we have like Ganas, that's for Latinx, Latina, Latino, Latinx community, but
Mm.
we also have Sankofa, which is for our Black students. So we're
Right.
kind of like,
Okay.
I would
Right.
recommend you want to join Sankofa, join Sankofa.
Cool.
It's a really
Yeah.
like tight-knit but loving community. And like again, they get you places on campus and connected.
Oh
So
yeah, I believe you because right now I'm at Las Positas and I'm a part of
hmm.
the Black
Emoji?
Student Union. Yeah. No, Las Positas.
Oh, Las Positas. Okay.
Yes, and I'm a part of Moja. So
Yeah.
yeah. I'm connected. So
Yeah, stay connected.
that's the next place I'm going. I'm going right over there to Cal State East Bay and get connected.
Mhm. Mhm.
For
I have
sure.
no
I know where my connection is. Thank you.
Mhm.
My question is for the because I'm transferring from Delano to East Bay, so one of my priorities is the dorms, the application for dorms. I have various questions, but the point is how packed is the application? Because that's my only priority to have like a dorms to establish there. So I don't know if how was the process, if it was too long or too tedious. That's my question.
Sorry, just to clarify, you're asking about the dorming process?
Yeah, the dormitory for the students, so okay, studies stay in the dorms because I have no families in San Francisco over there, so I'm just going straight to the inside housings, and I'm just kind of worried about if I'm going to make it to have at least one dorm to stay and help with the process with the amounts and the payments. That's more the priority.
Yeah, so for me with that process, it was fairly quick. With financial wise, everyone has their own, like it's kind of different for everyone, but what I can do is I'll put it in the chat with who you can reach out to specifically for housing in regards to that financial question. But it's fairly quick. I know when you put in the application, there is a application fee, which I think it's raised for the semester, but I could be wrong. Which it's normally $40, $40 to $45 for the application fee. And then after that, you'll have to do the initial payment fee, which is $250. From there, students have the opportunity to pick which room setup they want. So for first year transfer students or for first year freshmen, they can choose from either a double, which is having another person in the room, which would be in the Tamalpais building. That building has basically four rooms and two people in each room. And then you all share a kitchen, which, mind you, they do not have a stove over there, which leads me to my next point of we have a meal plan program. So when you do become a student, you do get like, my screen is a little blurred, but you do get your Bay card. This is basically your student ID card. This would be your meal swipe card. So we have a really good dining commons area, so when you go there, you just swipe this, and for first years or for first year transfer students, you can get up to 15 meal swipes a week. So you can go there 15 times a week from like 7 till like 7 p.m., 7 a.m. till 7 p.m. pretty much. So you'll never go hungry at least when you're living here. But you also get the opportunity to choose to have a triple, which is 3 beds in one room, which it can get a little cozy. Currently, I'm in a single room, but I still have other roommates. Single rooms are mostly for those that are like upperclassmen that have already stayed a year at least on campus. So when you stay a year on campus, you'll have that priority of having a single room. I hope that answered all your questions for that.
Yeah, I did. Thanks.
Yeah, I put my question in the chat, but I was just wondering, for my situation, I was accepted into the business administration major with the concentration in finance, but I was wondering if I can change my concentration before classes, before enrollment.
I can answer this question. Yes, Carla, you are able to change your major as long as you email admissions at csueastbay.edu. I left it in the chat for you, okay? You could do this starting today, tomorrow. Just make sure to do that before you do enroll into classes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, of course.
Why don't we go ahead and talk about some of the resources available for transfer students, whether they're online or in person? We pretty much try to make both available, whether you're an online or in-person student, but talk about a little bit about what resources did you find for your support on campus?
Say for me, I'm an online student, but I live right below campus, like 5 minute drive. Um, there are a lot of resources. Like I mentioned, C's, they did have like Zoom option hours, so I was able to get in contact with someone um if I had like an academic question. Um, I also a lot of our like transfer programs are online, unfortunately. So they do have a lot of, I would say, what's it called? Help me out, Emmeline and Casey. What's it called? I don't know. Come back to me. But yeah, we have a lot of resources for our transfer students, and we do try to get connected like with our transfer student programs. Um, we do try to do like socials, and other stuff.
Yeah, we've done online socials before. I feel like for most people that are online students, that's probably the hardest part is how exactly do they get involved on campus while being online. And that's just simply we use something called Basync. That's pretty much our whole like events thing. And you also can get a hold of your advisor sometimes from there, or it's called Bay Advisor, but you can get into that portal from there if that makes sense. But yeah, we post like a lot of events, which all students are welcome to come. You can still get a physical Bay card, and at least roam around campus. I know majority of my classes, they're also online as a communication major. So, what I do is I go to our library building, which is called the core. I go in there, they have quiet study rooms, and I just do my Zoom classes on there, over in that building. So that way, after I'm done with my Zoom class, I could still, look at the campus live because we have a really good view, especially right now. Like it's a really good view. And then in terms of like other resources, I would say like I'm gonna keep phrasing them, but the student health and counseling services, they have online services, like they have telehealth and everything. And you know, what I like to say is you use your like you pay a lot for your tuition, right? Use that to your advantage because you get to go there. You're not gonna get asked for a copay. And they have like online counseling services too that you can benefit off of. Um, and then also it also depends with certain degrees too, or certain college classes. So like if you're a business major, I'm sure they've had like have had a couple events over there. I know like for College of Arts and Social Sciences, we try to have like little baking events too. But yeah, it's pretty much how you kind of make it to be.
Yeah, I kind of also want to just emphasize the Bay advisor that Emmeline was talking about. I think you're specifically asking for getting started with your classes and your academic planning. I believe when you start your orientation, one of the things that you have to do is find who your success team is or who your main academic advisor is. And at least for me with class or the College of Letters, Arts, and Social Sciences, my academic advisor has always been pretty helpful in trying to get me where it is that I need. We do pretty frequent check-ins too, so there's no limit to how much time you can spend with your advisor. So whatever questions you have, you can also just email them if you're an online student. And even with my advisor, they're always available via Zoom if I just schedule an appointment. And typically they also have a lot of different time slots to meet with you too. So if you ever have a question, I think the very first thing that, or first person that you should go to is your main academic advisor just to get started with classes, and making sure that you're on track.
Can I add to that? So transfer students usually, in order to get started planning your fall 2026 classes, we do encourage transfer students to reach out to their major advisor. Their major advisors are divided by the colleges. Okay, so in the chat, I'm gonna link how to find your advisor, and I would recommend reaching out to them as a transfer student and scheduling an appointment.
Um, I want to ask for those that work full time, how does that, um, I guess I want to know like what would it look like? Because I work full time in the mornings and I'm planning to go to the get some classes, either that be online or in campus. I was wondering if there are um like classes available late in the evening. And I'm a psychology major.
Depending on your major, there's usually a lot more classes offered either online or later in the night. But when you do start looking at the courses and you meet with your academic advisor, they're going to suggest to you, oh, you should take these classes. And then you can also mention, hey, I would prefer to take classes later at night for my work schedule. And they'll try to accommodate that or at least help you find the classes that will align with your schedule. But yes, typically we do have night classes or afternoon classes. So if you just talk to your advisor, they would also be able to help you find those specific classes.
Um, so I emailed the advisor at February 12th, and I think in the end of the email says something like I'm not fully in the system, so I can't really get the appointments. But they did send me a whole list of classes and also the number for accessibility counselor and stuff. So when should I contact the academic advisor, I think?
Are you have you accepted your offer of admission?
Yeah, I paid the admissions fee.
Okay. I usually tell students to contact or their advisor sometime in March, closer
Okay,
to
March.
April, just because April is when your registration date usually opens. And
Mm-hmm.
so right now, I think it's kind of like that waiting period.
Okay.
So I would definitely reach back out sometime in March. So when your registration date does come open and it becomes available for April, you have enough time to schedule and to register for those classes.
Okay.
With that as well, once you get your advising, the other piece that will be happening for you is your orientation and pre-orientation. We will be rolling out a new platform for pre-orientation, and that will open up probably April, late mid-April, early May. And then transfer students orientations will take place in June. Tuesdays and Thursdays in June, you have to attend one session. There will be an overview for advising, but generally transfer students do get their advising prior to orientation. You don't need to wait for orientation to get your advising done or register for classes. So we encourage you to do that in advance. But just if you keep, there should be next steps communications coming out to you as well. That will provide some of that information to you.
Okay. Thank you.
Go ahead, next. Oh,
I have a question.
okay, go ahead.
How can we tell who our advisor is after we pay the $110? How can we tell who we are assigned to?
Yeah, so I went ahead and put a link in this chat to a link where it says meet your advisor. Usually this will be done through Bay Advisor or you'll have someone assigned to you, but because usually that process takes a little while, you will have to again email it's divided by college. So, what is your major by any, do you mind me asking?
Kinesiology.
Okay, perfect. So you are the College of Health. So with that link, feel free to go to College of Health,
Mm-hmm.
and there should be an email there to schedule or to email the College of Health to figure out who your major advisor is there.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
I see a question in the chat about activating your Horizon email. Why don't you go ahead, the students, go ahead and explain how to activate their email. The other thing I wanted to let you know is that so I think I mentioned I'm from Student Leadership and Involvement Center, but I didn't give an overview of what that consists of. So our Student Leadership and Involvement Center hosts our orientation program, transfer student programs, parent supporter programs, our recognized student organizations, and our student leadership initiatives. So as I mentioned, orientation will be happening, but we also have transfer student programs and transfer student ambassadors, which Emmeline and Elia are part of that program. And we have one other ambassador that's not here today, Josh, and they have office hours. So if there's, we can provide the link to our website. It should be on our website. And if you have questions or want to join in, you can drop into their Zoom hours. They can walk you through, like looking at Bay Advisor or walking you through the steps so you can see where to find some of the information we're telling you about, as well as if we explain how to get into the Horizon email, but you're still not sure, you can feel free to reach out, email us, or set up an appointment, and they'd be happy to talk to you and help you get through to some of the access areas that and resources that we have. But Casey or Emmeline, would you like to explain how to activate your Verizon email if you all remember?
I got a tag team with this one because I am not tech savvy. I know that when you get in your email, I think it's in your regular email that you get first, that you did the application for the school for, then it should be in that email link where it says, usually it's the first initial of your first name and then your last name. And then sometimes it does give you a number at horizon.csuesb.edu. And I believe, Nancy, you can correct me if I'm wrong, they're still on Google. So I think you just sign in with your Google and then it'll give you the whole net ID process of logging in that way. I believe you do get like a temporary. Yeah. Thank you, Sarah. I appreciate it. I see you typing.
Yes, so I can explain what I put in the chat. So all applicants should have received a net ID 1 to 3 days after submitting your application. If you happen to not receive a net ID, you can email our Perry's Nest, and I will leave a link here in their chat as well. But that net ID, you're going to activate it, and when you activate it, you're going to set a password. And with that is basically going to be your username and password for all the systems at CSU East Bay. Okay, so if you didn't receive that net ID, look through your email. And if you didn't, I'm going to leave the email and the phone number that you can call to retrieve it.
We'll give our panel a question as far as what worked for you to get involved on campus, especially student organizations and Greek life here?
I can answer that. Like I mentioned previously, I am involved in quite a few organizations, despite me being pretty new to campus, I would say. So last semester or every semester, we also host something called Pioneer Palooza for the spring and fall. And if you're interested in being a part of an organization, usually that's a time when many different organizations, or recognized student organizations, as we call them, table, and you can learn about them through their officers or different members. Usually they have some sort of tabling material. A lot of the times, this is the time that many student organizations are also recruiting. So it's a really good time to actually get to know the members and see what it's about through them. Yeah, so I really would advocate for Pioneer Palooza if that's one thing. Another way to look is there are different websites on our Cal State East Bay website that show, for example, Greek Life. There's a list of Greek Life, how to contact them, or their Instagram pages. So if you kind of want like a visual feel of what it might look like if you were in an organization, a lot of them post their events on Instagram as well. So if you do utilize Instagram, that's one way to also get connected. I know even as an online student or a predominant online student, my first semester, when I was looking at different organizations, like for example, Alpha Phi, they just had their interest form on their bio, and then they reached out to me personally, and I learned more through that.
They all have the same deadlines because I received an email from the Ganas program, and I was actually looking at the website to get a little bit more information and to see if there were other programs just to keep my just to be open and to learn from different ones. But do they all have the same deadline? Because I think for the Ganas one is it, I believe March 2nd.
Oh, sorry, Ellie.
I was gonna say because Ganas is like Pia's sister program. They give you deadlines, but I'm gonna keep it real, y'all. For Pia, I kept missing the deadlines because I didn't check my Horizon email. So they were like, "Oh, you have 2 weeks to apply," but I wouldn't check my email because I was still in community college until like 3 weeks later. So I kept missing the deadline like 5 different times. So I should not be in PIA, but again, they really do want to help their students. So if there's a deadline, I don't think it's really hard. I'm just gonna be honest. But always reach out, always email like, hey, like I know I missed the deadline, but I'm pretty sure you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Just to be real, just to be real.
I think just
Yes.
as a I don't know, precursor to that would be it depends on the program. If they're limited on space, they might be a little more strict. EOP is definitely strict with their deadlines. Their deadlines are hard deadlines. But some of the smaller programs, the support programs, such as Ghana SPS and COPA, Renaissance Scholars. So Renaissance Scholars is for foster youth. And Excel might have a little bit more laxed on their deadlines.
I have another question.
Mhm.
So how can we about all the programs? How can we get access on the website to these programs to get more information about the programs on the website? Where do we find it at?
Uh, Elia, you want to drop, or one of you, Casey, among C's? It's SEAS. If you did put that in the search bar,
Oh
you'll
yeah,
come
she.
up.
Oh yeah, that's right. I'm sorry. I'm
Yeah,
sorry. I did see that. I'm
yeah.
sorry.
That will have all
I
of those support programs.
okay. All
The
right. Thank you.
other piece of support programs that we have is our diversity centers.
Okay.
There's 4 centers, I believe 5 centers that we also have. They don't provide like academic advising and that type, but they're there to help you build community and provide support in that sense as well.
Nice. Okay. Thank you.
Another question that we'll get into now is, and it was you, Jessica, I think you kind of mentioned working full time, but for those students that are not working full time, what kind of on-campus jobs or career opportunities are there available on campus, and how did you find them?
There are plenty student assistant jobs on campus. For example, technically our title within the SLIC program are student assistants, even though we have like campus involvement as our title. We are technically student assistants, and usually different departments on campus also have student assistants. So we have Perry's Nest, who's usually the one-stop shop for students who have questions. There's a lot of student assistants there. The orientation program, although it's part of SLIC, there are a lot of different students. I think that one has a cohort of 15 orientation leaders. Or even with ASI, I know someone mentioned the parking pass, one of the benefits that we have as ASI. It's a little different because it's not exactly a job opportunity. We get paid in stipend and scholarship every month. But some benefits that we have to that are parking passes, and we have that scholarship that ranges from 600 to 1,200 every single month. And it's not exactly a interview process. Sometimes it is if we have a vacancy for a position, but usually you run. So it's very similar to student government in your previous campuses, I'm sure. So yeah, those are some of the few.
So one of the questions, and I'll get to the hand that's raised. One of the questions in the chat was, where do we check for employment opportunities and deadlines for that? We have a platform which you may have at your community college called Handshake. A lot of the departments put their job opportunities there, and social media is a big way of our departments to post their job listings.
I would also recommend checking your student emails. We always get like announcements from departments on campus that are hiring. That's how I saw this job opportunity. I was like, oh, okay, they're looking for transfer ambassadors. Let me apply. Let's see what happens. And I feel like social media too. We always post opportunities on Instagram. Like our department's hiring, another department might be hiring. Like the DISARC just sent out a post about hiring new student assistants. So there's always some way to tap into a department on campus. And sometimes you can always reach out like, hey, send an email to someone like, can I get a job here? And you never know. You never know what can happen. So put yourself out there.
Yeah, also adding to that, the leadership initiatives program within SLIC, we actually have various different workshops where we work with students. One of them is called the Pioneer Leadership Certificate Program. And with that, we actually had 2 positions available or 1 position available for our program, and we pushed it out to the students who actually completed our Pioneer Leadership Certificate first. So they were able to get that opportunity. So yeah, if you ever see an opportunity that you might be interested, even if it's just a workshop, you could get a lot of connections from there. So really adding on to what Elia said, put yourself out there. You never know what can happen.
especially with your own department too. I know with the communications department, I have expressed interest of like, oh, I kind of like working with the camera. And then they kind of started getting me involved with the newspaper writing, and then now I'm involved with a media broadcasting club. And then there's also alumni support too within a lot of departments. Like everyone wants you to succeed and they also want to help you find your career path. Like they're having me reach out to KTVU because I want to do media stuff too. So and they know an alumni that works over there. So, like again, it's all about who you connect with within your department. But if you're looking for just like any job, then yeah, I would recommend the handshake. That's how I found my job at the Student Leadership and Involvement Center. But also, I did put a link the Career Center that we have here. They're such a big like helpful group of people. Like they will help you write your resume, help you with your interview, they might help you find like your career path too. Like they'll have you do like a career test. And they also have career advisors too.
Sorry, one more thing. Also, you can step out of your department or program or major. One of the students who works for the Student Leadership Involvement Center is actually a communications major, but she's the photographer or media marketer for the history department, even though she's not a history major. So there's always those opportunities. Never be afraid that just because you don't exactly maybe fit the job description or what you think might be the job description, just try it out. She wasn't too sure that she would even get the job because she wasn't that major, but now she's there and she's been there for a minute. So
Any other questions from the audience at this time? Okay. For the panel, what piece of advice would you give to an incoming transfer student?
A piece of advice is I know it's so scary to talk to people. When I first transferred here, I didn't want to talk to anyone. I didn't want to talk to anyone in my dorm because they were all athletes. Okay. They woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning and all those fruit blenders, I tell you, they were all going off. I was the only non-athlete in there. Okay. But you have to just be able to use your voice a bit. Like when I started like, opening up more to them, I was able to talk to them. And then when I started finding my classrooms, especially with my professors, I have like two professors that are my mentors right now, and they've been guiding me through my whole journey. And without them, I wouldn't have been able to, first of all, look for an on-campus job, let alone it be a leadership place. Like I I'm like nervous of talking to everyone in this like call right now, but like I'm so open. Um and I feel like being able to advocate for yourself in a university, like it's so different with the community college because in community college you kind of just have your head down most of the time. Everything kind of just goes on with life, especially during like a pandemic. Like I know a lot of people were probably having to deal with online classes, but when you're at this university, a lot of things are they're hybrid. But you also need to be able to tell your professor, like, hey, I don't want to take a hybrid class. And it's scary to tell like your advisor that too. But when you're able to advocate for yourself, then you're gonna get more out of your university journey. You'll be able to, you know, I started losing my train of thought. My apologies. Just use your voice. Don't be scared. Don't feel like you're, being mean or anything like that. You just gotta have your own back, and everyone will be there to support you.
I would say my biggest piece of advice would be like rejection is redirection. Um, I know I'm like, oh, I got 5 degrees, but my first year at community college, I failed all my classes. Just to be real, young. And from there, I was like, okay, maybe college isn't for me. I'm a first gen. Um, I'm not sure what I'm doing, but from like being at rock bottom I was like, okay, what can I do? I started being comfortable with being uncomfortable, started putting myself in spaces where I didn't see like myself at. And I don't know how I got this far, but I did. I'm in grad school, so I always tell people like if I could do it, if I could somehow bounce back from not academic probation, but like, not having like the best time of my life. To being like grad student, I support our parent supporter programs. I'm the lead transfer ambassador. I was president of a transfer honor society on campus. I got to go to Chicago, four-star hotel, y'all, by the Riverwalk. And I was treasurer of a club that I started. So like I'm doing all of this random stuff that I didn't think I would do. So just don't be afraid. Be out there, put yourself out there. You never know what can, happen. So that's my advice.
Yeah, Emmeline just put on the chat, do side quests. Honestly, I feel like there's something going on every time on campus. Even with a lot of the events that I host on campus, usually people don't plan to go to them. If you honestly just walk on campus, you're gonna see people holding different things. Like, for example, I had a bouquet event, um, and people followed the people who were holding those bouquets to go to those events. So honestly, just walk into spaces that have events, and from there, you're gonna meet new people who are also just trying things out. So yeah, it really just starts from saying yes and just doing it, or as people say these days, full sending it. So just go, just do it. It could be fun. There's a lot of fun things that happen on campus, so utilize it.
Any additional comments, either any of you, Elia, Emmeline, Casey, any questions we've missed or comments that you feel the students need to know about? Any other questions from the audience? I have one for the audience, and if you could put it in the chat, list this community college that you're coming or the university you're coming from. Curious to see where our audience is and how you're doing with your travels here. What are you, maybe just to kind of get things a little going for you, what were you looking for when you came to this webinar, and are we covering everything that you wanted to hear from, or is there something we haven't and you're not sure how to ask that question? Drop that in the chat and we'll do some answers for you. What is something you wish you knew before you transferred, for the panel and for the students in the audience? We'd like to always ask this of our students, is what would you tell yourself, your now self, to when you transferred? What advice would you give your own self?
I think goes along with a lot of the things that we've been saying, but also I think it's okay to kind of develop a new outlook when you come to East Bay. I know for me, I was really holding on to my kind of reputation or what I had done in Ohlone College before transferring. And I would it's a whole new stage in life. I'm meeting completely new people. All the people that I had previously at my community college, I wasn't really surrounded with anymore. So I had a hard time kind of grasping at that or coming to terms with that. Um, but like I said, there's such a welcoming community here at East Bay that you can find that easily. Don't let that kind of previous experience stop you from finding new experiences, or like don't let that tie you down or weigh you down. You have so much different opportunities here for you at East Bay. So take advantage of that.
I feel like for me, um, it's kind of weird because when I was at Los Medanos, we had a academy called Transfer Academy, and I got myself involved with that. So it kind of already prepared me into the mindset of I'm leaving this school to go better myself even more, to be a professional at what I want to do. So like I think what I would have told myself when I was in high school was to not let things get so close to my head, especially when it comes to academics. Like in high school, like they were very like GPA heavy, and there was like academic probation, and like we do that stuff here, but it was a little stricter over there. So I kind of felt like whenever I was doing my classes at my community college, and it still carries on to like here, is whenever I get below like an A, I start panicking. And I shouldn't let myself panic, because the thing is like I'm doing these courses so that way I can take it to put into my career field. The most important part than a letter grade is me actually understanding the material and not overcomplicating it too much, because I'm like, I need a good grade, which get a good grade, but you need to be sure that you understand the material and not be afraid to tell your professor, like, I don't know what you just said to me. Like, can you repeat that? Like, that's why advocating for yourself, again, it's super important. So that's what I would have told myself.
Good question in the chat is, what are the class sizes?
Ooh, I think it depends. So I've had like an entry-level ethnic studies course that had like 100 people in them. But for the most part, our classroom sizes are like normal size, 20, 30 students, I believe, in like the rooms. So we do have huge lecture halls, but they're just not utilized for each class, if that makes sense.
I would add on to that too. Again, it does vary by major and what course you actually take. So if you take a course that's like um kind of similar to like a psychology course or nursing, anything like health related, they tend to be a little bit more people, sometimes can go up to 60 people in there. I know for nursing, I've heard like it can go like a lot more, and they use the lecture halls that we have here. But primarily, like if you're just doing like general ed courses, it's probably going to be the most like 35. That's even the same thing if you do it on Zoom too. If you have a Zoom class, it's 35 in a Zoom.
Let's see. I know that question on internships. Have either any of you three been involved with internships, applied for any internships, and any comments about that?
Just to keep it real, I don't, I'm not the type of person that would actively look for internships. I've always been like, I love doing volunteer work. I love getting involved on campus. This is actually my second job ever, but I'm not gonna not to like discourage any of y'all. Like, go for the internship. We do have Handshake, but I would say also utilize your LinkedIn's. Our career center that Emily, she put the info in, they help you with building your resume, building your profile, putting yourself out there. So again, you just need to market yourself like this is what I'm doing. Hire me. Like, come on, your best option. Just get into that mindset of I like y'all need me. Come on. But if that doesn't work, again, rejection is redirection, you know? There's always somewhere you're gonna be. Yeah.
Oh, you could go, Casey. You could
Yeah, I know Sarah put on the chat that there is a lot of internship fairs here too. I feel like we have them fairly often. I'm usually like I'm in the same boat as Elia. I'm not usually one to go for an internship or even look for one, but I feel like every time I go to campus, and especially since I'm around the UUs or the university unions, there's usually some sort of internship happening every month, I would want to say. And a lot of students prepare for that. So they usually also will say when it is or prepare you way ahead of time through your student email. So really check your student emails. I know sometimes there's a lot of notifications, but that's one thing that you should really look for, especially when you're looking for internships. There's a lot of internship fairs. And a lot of the times the students will get invited to the internship fairs in campus from their LinkedIn. So yeah, also utilize those LinkedIns because they might even invite you to talk to them during those career fairs.
Same with departments too. I know in our communication department, and I think they've done it for the entirety of the College of Social Sciences, that there are open internship opportunities. I know last time, I think it was last year, they had one with the 49ers. It was a media type of internship, or I think it's marketing as well. So really like your department, you can even bring it up to your advisor. Your advisor will probably give you the information that I would give you is, hey, there's an internship coming up. Why didn't you go ahead and do this? Like they'll give you that information as well. That's relating to your actual like career alignment. But again, Career Empowerment Center, go to them for all internship stuff.
Yes, definitely. And I also, going back to the student assistant jobs that are on campus, a lot of like for computer sciences was mentioned, the IT department does hire student assistants, and that might be your first foot in the door, connecting with someone within your own department that might refer you to some internships as well. And hopefully we've answered your questions and been able to provide you with some extra information to push that decision to attend East Bay. Know by just doing this first step of attending the webinar, you started to build that community. And community is very important to help you get through your career here. And that's what we're here for. So you can already say you've met 3 fellow students that are currently here, and they're willing to help support you in any way that we can. You'll meet us again at orientation. If you attend Admitted Student Day, you'll see us there as well. We will have our recognized student organizations out there, as well as some activities for our parents. As part of our program, also, we have our pregnant and parenting students program, where we try to provide activities for students that have dependents, to get their family familiar with the campus, their dependents, their young ones. Our big event coming up for us is Extravaganza. We will be doing some activities, lunch and different things, but we want to be inclusive of everyone. So we try to have different events that connects with different populations on campus and to build that community. But as I said, you've made the big step already, and we appreciate you for joining us tonight.